Hey guys, it's Baron and Backpack, and welcome to another episode of No Games Here, our podcast where we discuss, well, games. Gaming life, gaming movies, gaming games, games in general. So today we're going to be talking about Overwatch, Dark Souls 3, Nintendo movies, Resident Evil, Battlefield 1, and Tom's really less than cool NBA 2K16 character. God, is he so derpy. Dear God. But anywho, before we start, I'd like to cover just a couple things related to the channel. So something that really helps me when deciding what content to make, in addition to, what I want to make, because it has to be fun for me, of course, is seeing what you guys are interested in. And I realize I'm a small channel, but it does help to get suggestions. So if you have any games you'd like to see me let's play, maybe do commentaries on, or just reviews of, or maybe even just talk about on the podcast, please leave them in a comment down below. It really helps us out. And specifically for when I'm talking with Tom and Kevin doing this podcast, why not? Give us some ideas for some topics to talk about. We'll talk about them. Also, check the description down below for links to each and every topic so you can get to them quicker if there's a specific topic you want to look at. Without further ado, welcome to the episode. So Overwatch has definitely been a big thing in the last couple weeks here. I mean, both people just in the anticipation of playing it. There's been videos for weeks now of, different YouTubers just going around and giving their impressions on it, playing characters, showing you what that's all about. It's been a really big thing, and it just recently released. And, I've played it quite a bit when it was in the kind of early, open access beta, and I really enjoyed it. And I know Tom's been playing it a lot, so, I just kind of wanted to figure out what were you guys' takes on this? What have you thought about it so far?
Well, on my side, I mean, I just got Overwatch today, as a matter of fact, or yesterday, and from what I've done, I've really enjoyed it. I played it during the open beta phase, and I think on the last episode we talked about Overwatch in general, and I was kind of lukewarm about it. So
yeah, I definitely remember you were originally not super excited about it, and at that time we were trying to figure out what was going to happen between Battleborn and Overwatch. Kind of which one's going to end up being better. Because they each did their own thing, as we've discussed before. Again, Battleborn's more of a kind of League of Legends Dota type kind of game, whereas Overwatch is Team Fortress. It's Team Fortress. But yeah, so now you've kind of got a little bit different perspective on it now.
Yeah, definitely. Because when I've been playing Overwatch, when I played the beta when that was free, I kind of got this feeling that Team Fortress vibe that I've been kind of missing. And not only that, but I kind of I never really got into the MOBA scene, but I did appreciate them for their heroes and their kind of fun. The way that they made their characters unique and that they had a unique feel to them, and each character had their own abilities and their own strengths, weaknesses, and different combinations of characters, where I never really got that from any of my games recently since Team Fortress 2, really. And this kind of hit that home with me, and I really enjoyed it. And I kind of enjoyed, I'm not the best competitive person, especially on Twitch shooters that can be sometimes. So it really helped me with that they had the versus AI mode, so I could practice and kind of get better at it and kind of figure out the character's abilities and play styles and kind of figure out my own skills, because I think that really helped me. And then it allowed me to go into a competitive scene that wasn't just, oh, my KD is 17-1. It's more of, did we win? Did we work as a team? Everyone's got their role. You can be a healer, and your kill to death ratio as a healer is not going to be that great because you don't kill anybody. But I think that it promoted teamwork, which I really appreciated.
Yeah, I definitely felt that, when I was playing it, you really did feel that kind of sense of, character with all the different characters. They all had their own unique personality that really, in fact, it even transferred over to how you played as that character. So, it's, for instance, Reinhardt, right? So he's this huge, massive guy, he uses shields to block enemy fire. He can put that up in front of your entire team so you can move forward, especially that really helps on the objective games when you're trying to push the cart along, so you can have that. But in just the way he acts, his mannerisms, how he talks, he just really kind of drops into that role. And it just
embodies that
tank. Really, really fits like that.
Yeah, Kevin, you played it a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah, I played it at Zach's place. It was definitely a ride, and I certainly enjoyed the game and its aspects. Mainly that was because I wrecked at the game. It was pretty awesome. But I was playing as who's the dwarf, the steampunk dwarf who always who sips like molten iron.
It's Torbjorn, isn't it?
That's something
It's
Torbjorn, something weird
yeah,
like
Torbjorn.
It sounds right. And yeah, that guy was it was just amazing. Yeah, but as for kind of the PvP play, it definitely had a very first person League of Legends style to
You think
it.
so?
How so?
I thought a bit of it. It was it just, I don't know, it just gave the mentality of that to me.
To me, it seemed like much more, I mean, of course, as we've been discussing, more like Team Fortress. Yeah, I mean, there are hints of like kind of a little bit of a CSGO-y kind of thing. The thing I noticed, though, I mean, although the gameplay is extremely fast and there's a lot going on, I didn't find it as annoying to play as like CSGO. Like for me, I hate Twitch shooters. It's just not my kind of thing. I would consider myself a really good gamer, but I'm terrible at those kind of games. So like that's why I don't play CS:GO, because I just get murdered. But when I was playing Overwatch, it seems like it was like just slow enough that I could get behind it. Like even playing as a sniper, which in those types of games, I mean, as anybody who's played Team Fortress 2, like it requires a crap load of skill because everybody's just sprinting around the map, especially like Scout is just flying. You know,
jumping like a weird fairy.
Oh yeah, just jumping around everywhere. It's like impossible. But you know, I was playing as Widowmaker, and I was just like, boop, headshot, boop, headshot, boop, body shot, boop, headshot. You know, it was actually surprisingly easy. And then, you know, and then you have characters like Bastion, where it's like, you don't have to so much aim as just fire in the general direction.
And I know everyone was kind of upset at him for being really overpowered as a character, but I mean, overall, I felt like the balance was pretty good. And even though that there are some characters who are, you know, you can just tell that they're better in terms of like they have more upsides than downsides.
Yeah, I mean,
but I think overall,
yeah, go ahead.
I was like, overall, I felt like they really felt balanced. And even though like Bastion is one of the more powerful characters because he can pretty much deny a whole area by himself, I mean, he does have weaknesses. You know, Reinhardt's shield really hurts him because he can kind of get up closer, and you can really play to certain strengths and weaknesses of it, and it kind of makes it kind of fun that you can kind of swap your hero to change with the type of composition the other team's got.
Yeah, I mean, Bastion's not infallible. I mean, like when I was playing Bastion, the things that would kill me the most are either Widowmaker or Pharah, especially Pharah because she's got the rocket launcher. So she just like flies up into the air, fires like 3 rockets at you, and you explode. Like he does have his weaknesses, especially when he's in turret mode because his head is actually on the back. So if you can get him to turn around and you shoot the head, that's his critical point, and you'll do a shitload of damage to him. So, So I mean I think that's really the thing is like each character really does have that like couple good things they're really really good at, and then they do have that that one flaw, that like that one perfect counter that exists that you have to be careful of, and you know and it makes the game more dynamic. I feel. I mean, you're really having to pay attention to your team's composition, especially because you can change it on the fly too. I like that. You know, you can constantly be changing who, you know, like we were in the middle of a game and, you know, we were using, you know, I think we had like a Bastion or something like that. We were playing on offense, but we were using a Bastion just because we were pushing the cart, and it was nice to have somebody to kind of like keep them out of the way. But, you know, we were doing that, and then like we looked at the other team's composition. We're like, do they really have 4 fucking Bastions? God damn it. Like they just had 4 of them right around the corner. And we're like, God, son of a bitch. Like, we had Zarya just, like, barely walk around the corner, and she just exploded. Just instant. It's like, well, fuck.
But that makes it so much fun because then their weaknesses is that they don't really have the healers. They don't have the, you know, the defensive capabilities. And they have a lot of offensive power and a lot of area of denial, but their weaknesses, you know, every composition is different. And the fact that you can repeat heroes, I think, is huge in that game.
Well, I mean, to beat that, all we did is take, you know, McCree, have him do his ult, wait a couple seconds behind the wall, and then jump in front of him and kill all of them. So yeah.
but I think it was really well done. I mean, the biggest thing that I noticed, I mean, I love the stylistic side of it. I think it's really got a cool art style.
Oh yeah, even the maps too.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's only a limited number of them, which kind of makes it a little. But I've heard all of them are going to be free. They're new map packs, so that's going to be really nice.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would hope so. You paid $60 for the game,
or $40 if you're on PC.
True. Kevin, what did you think about the maps when you were playing? I mean, did you kind of like the environments? What it looked like? Did it at least seem fun?
They seemed relatively dynamic. I mean the fact that you can that you can kind of just jump anywhere if you have the means was pretty awesome.
So like if you're Farah and you want to jump around with a jetpack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the verticality of it.
It just seemed, yeah, it just felt as though you could go anywhere. It wasn't restricted to 2 dimensions.
Or your diva with the rocket robot, and just kind of
the bunny robot.
The bunny robot is the best.
Just kind of like let it go while it's flying through the air. Have it be like fireworks for the other team, but you're on top of the building, so whatever.
And then you realize she has basically shotguns as her main weapons, and you're like, shit.
Yeah. And,
you're like, why did I go up here? I'm useless. It was a terrible idea.
You're waiting up there for the Dark Souls drop kill.
I think the other side of it that I think is kind of goes at least isn't the first thing you look at is the sound design of it. It's really cool too.
Yeah, it's very deep. There's a lot to it. I mean, in addition to each and every character having their own set of sounds, their emotes, their voices, all that kind of stuff. It's like the way they reload their guns. I mean, there's different like minute little sounds. Like for instance, Bastion, right? So when he reloads his main autocannon, when he's not in turret form, when he's just in standard robot form, you hear like a like there's the taking out the clip, putting the clip in, the gun closing, all that stuff. The little like kind of reticle moving around when you're just standard moving, and like even the way you hear the like like makes it sound like you're a robot, not just walking.
Yeah.
Like you have this very mechanical feel to it.
And not only that, but see, to everyone else, you hear that too. So let's say you're around the corner and you hear that sound, or when he turns into his turret form, you can hear that.
Oh yeah, and you're like, ah, shit.
Oh yeah.
Or you hear people's ults, because like let's say McCree, he's using his ult. It's like something about high noon or something like that.
Yeah. High noon. And then you're just like, oh shit, get behind something.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, like I love that side of it, and the fact that your character. So let's say you're walking forward, and you're walking with Tracer, for example, and somebody comes up behind you. She may make a quip about it, be like, oh, they're right behind us, or something like that.
Yeah, like, and then just like disappear. You're like, what the fuck? And then she's just like, she like boosted like 300 feet away. You're like, oh, thanks, Tracer. Thank you.
But that's kind of cool that they have that kind of contextual voice, and that they kind of some of the characters talk to each other.
Yeah, like Hanzo and his brother will talk to each other. I mean, very similar to I can't think of the names off the top of my head, but the 2 sisters from Dota 2.
And that's really cool. And it shows the kind of polish that they put in this kind of game. And I think it runs really well, even on console, because I'm playing it on console. So, I mean, yes, the graphics aren't as good, but still 60 frames per second on a multiplayer game is pretty impressive for, nowadays, and still look really good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and the thing is, it's also a very, like, the graphics aspect of it is somewhat cartoony in a way. Like, so it not having as good of graphics really isn't as relevant to it as it is like a super like ultra realistic game or something. Like it still looks good. I mean, yeah, it's and I think that's good because that allows it to not have to, like, you don't notice that it may not look quite as good on console, and I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, and I love that. Like for example, Dishonored. Zach, you played that, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And so, like, Dishonored kind of had that, where it kind of had that exaggerated style. The guys had bigger hands than normal. They kind of looked a little bit cartoony, and the environments had that small hint of that cartoony aspect, but it was still dark and gritty. But I think that type of design choice really made it so that even though you're playing on an inferior console, or if you're playing dark, it gives Dishonored a lot of life. So if you play it, 5 years, 10 years down the road, I think it still holds up.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. So I know you've beaten it by now, but I'm still going through it. But what were your kind of favorite parts of Dark Souls 3? Because that's also been another big game that's just recently, well, not recently come out. It's been a little while since that came out, but it's still kind of on the top of everybody's minds. People are covering it on YouTube still. Various talks, still figuring out the lore, all the hidden areas, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So what were you guys' thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, on my side, I finished it a couple weeks ago, and I enjoyed it. I don't think it was my favorite of the Dark Souls series, but I do think it was really well done. I mean, it was kind of the culmination of both Dark Souls 1 and 2, and Bloodborne even. It kind of had hints of all of them, and I'm pretty sure you probably felt that, Zach, when you were playing it.
Well, yeah, especially because you could buy certain rings that allowed you to either, do extra attack, as you attack more in a row, or gain back health when you attack immediately after attacking, like you just kind of keep up the attack, which was, I mean, you could very much tell that they're like, hey, we all know you like Bloodborne. You want to play Bloodborne and Dark Souls? Use this ring. It's like, yeah, okay. The thing I don't like, though, and I know you agree with me on this, Tom, is that, like, every single enemy has a freaking multi-attack. God damn it. Like, nobody has just a single...
enemy.
Yeah, even the most basic enemy. And, yeah, okay, to be fair, technically, like, the Hollowed had that in Dark Souls 1. They do that, like, swish, 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 swish. You know, okay, we get it. But still, for the most part, basic enemies had, like, a one... and then they back off. Like, everything does at least 2, if not 3 attacks. And, like, that would be fine if you had, like, poise, which they apparently... Originally, everyone thought it was a bug, that poise wasn't working, but apparently it's a feature. So because of that, everything staggers you for a while. So because of the multi-attack and that, there's times where you'll just get frickin' DPS to death instantly by, like, the most basic enemy. And then let alone when it's bosses that are just beating the living shit out of you.
Well, it's kind of like they kind of went kind of crazy on that multi-attack thing, and I think they also kind of went a little bit hectic on some of the enemies that had some kind of ridiculous dodging capabilities, like those snow dancer dudes.
I either that or tracked you like a motherfucker. Like,
oh my god, that game had the worst tracking.
Jesus Christ! Like, you couldn't get away from anything, or they as like mid jump in air they would track and turn to you. I'm like, oh come on, that's not how physics works. God damn it.
Or like they're swinging a two-handed greatsword and they just go, oh, moving to the right now.
Yeah, all the, like 180 degrees, just whoop, boosh. You're like, oh Jesus.
Come on. Yeah, but Kevin, have you seen any of that? I don't think you've played Dark Souls 3 yet, have you?
I haven't played a lot of Dark Souls 3. I have been catching up on the lore because I'm kind of a lore hound.
What did you think of the lore of this game in comparison to 1 and 2?
I think 1 and 2 kind of, I don't know. I'm really all for origin stories. And so Dark Souls 1, I think, had a really good grip on its lore. Dark Souls 2 just kind of, I don't know, you had the deal with the last Firekeeper and stuff such as that. But as for Dark Souls 3, I think it's coming to the point where they're rounding the entire storyline of the 3 and just kind of trying to make a coherent line
somehow, even though it's not coherent.
Yeah, even though everything is, screwed sideways on all Dark Souls stories.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess whenever I was looking at the lore, I always got the impression that it was just like, and in the 22nd millennia, Lordran was founded by... It's just like this like very overwinded, just huge, overarching story. Like, it kind of made sense, but like it just went on forever, and it just seemed like they were just making up like a history book about it, and didn't really matter. Like, honestly, like you get all the stuff you need to know just by in-game stuff. And I mean, that's it. And it all boils down to the same story. I mean, spoiler alert for those of you who have not finished 1, 2, and 3. But it basically ends up, do you accept the flame? Yes. Do you not accept the flame? Yes. Well, here's your 2 options. Good luck. See you later, bitch.
And there is a third one on all of them.
Yeah, there is the third option. But it's just like...
But it's still the same story arc, and it's like, you are the undead. You need to go get the fire back.
Yeah.
Now you're on fire. Get the more fire. Wait, what? What?
Yeah, like... I wasn't a big fan of the lore in the game. I think, I get that it's kind of like Destiny in the way that I don't like lore that you have to do a ton of research into, and it's not like I'm saying
the cards you had to go read the card on this other website. It's like, I don't give a shit.
Online.
Just
it's not even
just
in
give
the game.
It to me, for God's sake. Just make it a logbook I can read. That I'll do. I'm not gonna. Hold on, let me pause my game here. Boop. Let me pull up PlayStation Network. All right. Let's scroll through all the cards. 357. All right.
Now,
this is the area of
the game.
Yeah, this is the area of the blank people. They lived here for thousands of years. End of card. Well, great. That was fucking worth it. All right, back to my game now.
Oh, wow, fantastic.
I am a better person for knowing that shit.
And that's the kind of part that always frustrated me about Dark Souls is that it kind of felt like that, where it always felt like, I mean, like there's some games that I think do it better than others. I prefer like audio logs. I prefer diary entries. I prefer those type of things. And not that Dark Souls didn't have, their diary entries. I don't know. I never had any desire to read it or find out about the world more than the things I could kind of just pick up as I'm playing.
Yeah. I mean, again, like Destiny though, was it really about the story, honestly? I mean, really though.
Some people will claim it is, but it's like, no.
You're there in Destiny, you're there to shoot aliens in the face. Especially ones that are basically the
Flood,
the Flood, or Space Marines, or etc. It's like, okay,
or the collectors, the Protheans.
Yeah, basically. And in Dark Souls,
goblins look a lot like Protheans.
Yeah, and in Dark Souls, you're supposed to be there to, try and beat massive bosses, who are just crazy
explore
skilled,
cool places.
Yeah, explore awesome design places. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. The environments for Dark Souls 3 were amazing. Like, in fact, okay, so after you start the game, right, and you get out through the beginning tutorial area before you fight the first boss, right, and you're going up the hill, and then you're just, boom, you're hit with this huge vista of this mountains in the far background, that like kind of destroyed arena-y thing where you end up fighting the first boss right in front of you, and kind of like a winding path to that, and it's beautiful. There's a lot to it, and
not only that.
Yeah, go ahead.
But not only that, but you have like when you see like sometimes you see those vistas, and there's like, oh, look at that castle over there, but that's the end of the level.
Yeah, like it might just have meaningless like, boy, that's a neat thing in the distance that I'll never go to. It's like, no, you'll probably be there eventually.
Yeah,
and I love that.
That's what I really loved about basically most of the Dark Souls series. Like in many cases, you could go to literally everywhere on the map, and like any place that had any sort of significance in the artwork, you can take a trip to. Like in the first one, Anor Londo, most of that place was pure availability. You could go in some respects anywhere on that map. I mean, from climbing up and hiking up the buttresses of all of the castle towers to
and getting shot off by the arrows.
God, those fucking arrows!
Oh my gosh!
They give you like a 2-foot platform, and you're just like, good luck, fucker.
If it hits you at all, you're off.
You just hear,
yeah.
You're like, what the fuck was it? And you just go flying off the edge. You're like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know. Though, like even if you block them,
it still knocks you back enough to fall off.
Yeah, you're getting tossed back 5 feet, and it's insane.
See, when I went through that, I just got lucky by running up to one of the Silver Knights that were shooting the arrows, and they just like tried to hit me, and he just like did his swing and fell off the edge. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like,
I had that happen to me.
And I just like walk around him.
I think my overall feeling of Dark Souls 3 was I think it was a good game. I don't think it was a great game.
Yeah, it's good, not great.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I felt with it. And I enjoyed my time with it. And I enjoyed my time with all of the Souls series and Bloodborne. And I don't know. I mean, they have their place for me where, like, if I'm into that kind of game, which I kind of was when I was playing it, it serves its purpose for me. But it's never something that I'm going to be like, maybe the first Dark Souls might, but the rest of them, I don't know if I'd say, oh my gosh, it's on my top games of all time.
Yeah, I mean, Dark Souls 3, it really was kind of fettered by... It's not hard by it being legitimately challenging for the most part. It's hard because they made it annoying and put in bullshit elements. That's really all it is. They made it hard by adding a shitload of multi-attack and being able to be staggered with fucking anything. Like, they just made it... What if we just make it hard as balls by making it stupid? Cool. Yeah, look at how hard and hardcore Dark Souls is. It's like, that's not really hardcore.
Not compared to, like, the old Dark Souls games.
Yeah, like, those were just legitimately challenging. Like, you had to... I mean, you still have to have skill in this game. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little bit of BS that was kind of going through the first couple Dark Souls.
Yeah, there were a couple places where you're just like, you're probably going to die because, honestly.
Yeah, Anor Londo buttresses.
Yeah, there were some BS elements of it, but I feel like overall it felt fair to me.
It seemed like they had a better control of the bullshit, and in the other games it just seemed a bit less less controllable. They didn't
Yeah.
they didn't have exactly the best idea of how to remedy it. I mean, how to make a game hard still.
Oh yeah. Well, let's see. Let's
I don't know.
kind of moving into the next thing here we have on our agenda. I know recently that Nintendo was talking about getting into the movie scene. So, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Please no.
Just
Anytime I hear about a video game movie, I say no.
Yeah, no. The fact that they just made an Angry Birds movie it's a failure on all fronts.
yeah,
It's a failure as a society.
that bothers me.
Well, I mean, you made enough money with Angry Birds. Good for you. But how much of a money hoarding bastard do you have to be to turn that into a movie that everyone it's not like people feel obliged anymore to go to these things. It's not like people are saying like, "Oh my gosh, that's my favorite character." But it didn't stop them from trying. It didn't stop them from spending millions of dollars on animation that they could have spent, making something productive like another Tom Hanks movie. Like that would be so cool. But no,
Well-
they had to make dumb Angry
Cloud
Birds.
Atlas 2.
But
Oh, never mind.
yeah, rethinking it now, aren't you, bitch?
Oh shit.
but like
Speak
to
a
your,
language that I don't even know.
to your point on the fact that Angry Birds movie, that it's kind of like, oh, why are they doing this? I mean, I think that they were trying to hit, but I mean, how many times
They're
do you
just-
see like a little 5-year-old with an iPhone playing Angry Birds? I can imagine their parents took them there because their kid says, "Oh, I love Angry Birds. I want to see the movie about Angry Birds." And that's why. Did you see that it unseated Captain America 3: Civil War on the box office?
It's because they know it's popular and they're going to make money off that. But kind of drawing back to the Nintendo thing, I don't know. I think they could make it work. It depends on what
Really?
franchise. Well, it depends on what franchise they're going about. Because
Remember
what
the
I've-
Mario movie?
Well, that's the thing, and that was going to be one of my points. Yes, it was terrible. I still watched it like 80 times because
And
reasons.
it was, and I enjoyed it in a weird way.
Yeah, in a weird way, I still enjoyed it. But anywho, I digress. It depends on which universe you're going to try and make a movie on. Because I think that if you're trying to make a movie on an established universe with, again, Mario, let's use that for an example, right? Even by that point, when they made the movie in like the 90s, there were so many different games. There was already an established universe. They had set characters who behaved in a set way. Everything was already set out. So when you try to make a movie, well, the thing is, if you're going to make a movie, you're not going to make it the exact same as all the games because nobody's going to watch it. It's going to be dull. It's going to be stupid. Nobody wants that.
Because everyone's seen it
So
already.
you need creative license. Well, if you use too much creative license, aka the Koopas are now dinosaurs, even though they're turtles, and King Bowser is a Koopa and not Bowser. Anywho, that whole bullshit fiasco that was, Mario Brothers. Ugh. Oh yeah, and the Goombas are also lizards instead of
And also
mushrooms.
Mario and Luigi aren't exactly brothers.
Yeah, that too.
Like something strange about Luigi's mom or something.
Yeah, the whole thing was weird. But nonetheless, so you have that situation, right? And of course it's not going to work because it's too far different from what you're expecting, But I think if they were to do like a movie, let's say on like Star Fox, right? So yeah, there's been a few games, but let's be honest, the newest game is basically a reimagining of Star Fox 64, which is a reimagining of Star Fox on the Super Nintendo. And, so we have this one little universe, right? And yeah, we have Star Fox Adventures. It was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't what people was expecting, but anywho, we'll leave that for another talk. So we've got this little bit of a universe. I think they could actually make a decent movie off that because they have enough to work with. They have the characters, they have the means, they have the universe, but they don't have so much story that they're going to be pigeonholed into one thing. And if they break that, people are going to be angry. I don't think that's the case. So I think they could actually do it. Or with Pikmin, like they already have animated shorts, on the 3DS and Wii U and stuff, and I think they could go somewhere with that. And it'd be kind of interesting too, because it'd be basically like a silent movie because nobody talks. Like the most you get is like the little like, from the little Pikmin, and maybe a little something from Olimar,
Well, if I could believe that they would keep the Pikmin from talking and
They
go only based on like their facial expressions, which is a hard stunt to play. But I would
especially with
I
the
would
ones
give
that have
them
no
props.
mouth.
Yeah, I would give them props for that, because that's tough shit to do. Like, that's insane, going off of just plain flat emotions, and emotions of non-human things for that matter. Like, you can't even hedge on, oh, we already know what sad looks like or something. I mean,
a lot of that comes from the eyes, though, honestly. Like,
yeah,
you could do that pretty easily. Like, you could just, like, you give, because they already have kind of, like, you could give them, like, the impression of eyebrows, but, just contour the eyes in a certain way to make them look angry, to make them look worried, sad,
Yeah.
So you mean like a kind of like a Wind Waker, how they made Link be able to have emotions when he never talked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing Nintendo's been good at, it is making characters have emotions without ever fucking talking.
But
I guess.
I don't know what a franchise I think that would be good for it, because I mean, I know I don't want to see a Zelda movie. Please don't do it.
Again,
I think it's going to
be bad. The universe
bad.
is too well established. I agree.
Exactly.
It would not work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
but
Link would have to talk, and it would fuck it up. It would just be like, unless you found the perfect, and I mean perfect person for that, it would be weird.
Jake Gyllenhaal again.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Prince of Persia turned Zelda, or turned Link.
But like, what other franchises could I mean, I could maybe an F-Zero one might be okay.
Yeah, F-Zero might be right, because it'd be basically like a racing movie, and
it'd be like Fast and Furious kind of style.
I'd be like kind of Fast and Furious meets Speed Racer, because it had that same kind of crazy art style, and like,
or even Mad Max.
Yeah, it'd be kind of a mixture of all those things, except well, I guess Captain Falcon talks. So yeah.
Did Samus talk?
I think so.
Did she talk in Prime? I never played Prime.
I don't remember.
Because Metroid would be a kick-ass movie.
Oh fuck yeah, that would be like the coolest shit. Like, I wouldn't even care if they like CGI'd the fuck out of it. Like, I mean, obviously I don't expect them to build a 30-foot tall ice behemoth,
a huge alien planet thing.
Yeah, I get it, but yeah, no, that'd be awesome, because it'd be like sci-fi, and I love sci-fi movies in general. And then like, yeah, with the Metroid part of it, oh, that would be cool.
But the only thing that I would have a question on is, what audience would they be targeting? Because from their recent games, we obviously have seen who their audience is by making these games. They're making really dumbed down. They're making them like not only child friendly, because like we all played, the Zelda games when we were younger, and those were hard.
I know. When you go back, and you're like, how the fuck did I beat this? Jesus!
How did I get past the water temple? Damn it!
How about the spirit temple? Because some of that shit's invisible. Like, you have to use the lens of truth. Like, how would you know?
And like, you wouldn't know it. They said use the lens of truth. It's like, on what?
One of the treasure chests that's hidden within a pile of like poop, and you have to blow up the pile of poop.
I know.
Yeah.
And then the treasure chest is invisible, and you have to use the lens of truth. So not only do you have to like go, this is a weird pile of poop in the corner. Oh, there's nothing there. Better use the lens of truth. Like, if I was like 8 playing that again, I'd be like, the fuck? I don't know where the shit is. But yeah.
But like, I mean, compare that to what Skyward Sword was. It was a dumbed down, simplified mechanics, simplified dungeons, like the dungeon where you spin a sword in a circle, like I said last time.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want it to be like, if they make a Metroid movie, I wouldn't want it to be like but not that I want the real gritty Super Metroid. I would want, something that was at least in the middle, not some like kid friendly shoots, popcorn out of her cannon.
Well,
whatchamacallit, Wreck-It Ralph, where they had kind of a half Metroid character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one where they're fighting the bugs.
Yeah, that would be kind of like my vision of kind of like make that person take every single thing like completely seriously. And if they're gonna make a live action version of Metroid, make it Olivia Wilde, and we'll have a deal. Like, they won't have any qualms from me.
Olivia Wilde as a blonde character, that'd be kind of. Huh.
Well, I mean,
I've seen her as like a brunette so much that it's like, I don't know.
I've seen her as black hair in Tron, and that was really immersive.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
I mean, I don't know. That could work. I was actually thinking the I can't remember the actress's name, but she plays Dexter's homicidal girlfriend, and also plays Yvonne Strahovski.
I thought you were. Oh,
the one who's the character model for Miranda in Mass Effect.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, right, as Samus.
Yeah,
right. I think she'd do a good job. I mean, she's a great actor, and like just her look in general, and then I don't know. I think she'd do a good job with it if they were going to. But speaking of kind of game franchises and just like games in general that have kind of started, changing in one direction or another after years of kind of being the same. We have Resident Evil now, who we've heard rumors of them returning to their roots of survival horror. Because recently they've been doing a lot of action stuff again. Like Chris Redfield just like vaulting over a barricade and punching a zombie in the face and then shoving his pistol down another one's throat and firing and kicking another one in the crotch, all in the span of like 3 seconds. And it's like, I don't think this is what Resident Evil was eventually. Like Resident Evil 6 was just terrible. Yeah, oh god, that was just like, why? This is way too action-packed for this series. What is happening?
You know how many times I slipped and fell into that grave?
A lot.
7.
You counted?
I was playing with a friend, and we were playing, and every time we walked in the graveyard, there was a graveyard, so if you walked near the graveyard, it was raining. If you walked near a grave, you would slip and fall into the grave, where a zombie would grab you and attack you. I swear I did it every time, and I had to reload, because every time I died.
Nice. But yeah, I think it would be good for them to return back to the roots, because honestly, my favorite Resident Evil of all time is Resident Evil 4, and it has been throughout time. I played it on basically every console it has ever come out on, including PC. I played it on the Wii, I played it on GameCube, I've played it on PC, I played it on Xbox 360. I have played it on basically everything except the PlayStation. Well, I forget which one. I think 3.
It would be PlayStation. No, it was GameCube when it originally came out.
Yeah, no, it originally came out on GameCube. It may not have come out on PlayStation. I can't remember. It came out on freaking everything. But
I also love Resident Evil 4.
And it had that thick survival horror aspect. Kevin, did you play that one?
Which one?
Resident Evil 4 with Leon Kennedy in Spain.
No, I did not.
Oh,
was it Spain?
Oh, dude, you're missing out, man. Buy it. It's on PC. You can get it on Steam.
Buy it. You need to get it, Kevin.
You need it. Honestly, it is a game that you need to play. It is up there on the list of games you need to play. But yeah, so like it did have a lot of action. Like you were running around, and there were parts where you're fighting enemies with machine guns, and you're dodge rolling around and stuff like that. Chainsaws, yeah. Like there was a lot of action, but it did still have that survival horror feeling. You were low on ammo a lot. You
couldn't move.
Yeah, you couldn't move and shoot, which, although it's not my favorite thing, it really does, as it was originally intended to do, is to make you have that feeling of helplessness because you can't move while you're shooting, and you're just watching the zombies get closer and closer and closer and closer, And it's just like, especially freaking Dr. Salvador with the goddamn chainsaw. You're just like, shit. And you just hear, and you like dodge out of the way, like, no.
But instead, with Resident Evil 6, they went to that, action-packed, all the zombies running around like the zombies from 28 Days Later.
Yeah, and you're just like,
jeez.
Just the background music's just like, woo! It's like, what the fuck? What is going on? Why?
And it's like if I wanted to play, the action, game like that, I'd play Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, and that's a game that excels at that, and that's the point of it. So yeah, in all in all, I think it's good that they're returning to roots like that. However, the game that they're coming out with soon that I'm not really all that interested in because it rubs me the wrong way is Umbrella Corps, because it's a PvP. It's a PvP style game where you fight against other Umbrella Corps agents, and there's zombies in the same area, I guess. And
so it's like PvP with PvE elements?
It's PvP with like hazards is basically, and everybody has their own little skill, like some can deploy shields and some, like, I know there's more to it, and I'm probably not doing it justice, but that's like the gist of what's going on with it. And it's like, well,
They're trying to do something different, which I can appreciate.
I can half appreciate it. Like I don't know. I feel like if they're just making a PvP game just for the sake of doing something new, I can totally respect that. But it seems like it's becoming more of, we want a larger player demographic. And so what we're going to do is we're going to hit the PvP market hard and get a ton of people who play, the usuals, the casual, like Call of Duty and stuff like that.
But they're going to put it on the IP of Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, if that's the case, that's fine. Honestly, I mean, it's okay. If they want to try something new, because, I mean, Resident Evil's been doing basically the same thing forever, just with different locales. And that's, if they want to try out something where it's more of a, a PvP thing, and apparently it's like a cover-based shooter kind of thing, like, that's all right. They can do that. And, I'm excited to see how it does. I don't know if I'm super excited myself to play it, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. And I might pick it up. Who knows? It might actually be all right.
I mean, I hope it's all right. That's
I always root for good games.
Yeah. I don't know. My interest, or I have hope in it. I don't exactly have faith in it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. I mean, and also with kind of crazy turns of events here. So we have that both Battlefield and possibly Call of Duty are going back in time, specifically with Battlefield 1, which is a terrible naming convention. I mean, literally the worst. That is the stupidest name I've ever heard. It's like, oh, it's Battlefield 1. Oh, the one that came out in like the 90s. No, not that one. It's Battlefield 1. The World War I one. The 1-1. Battlefield 1, the World War I one. Yes.
Why not call it Battlefield 1916?
Yeah, something.
Yeah, that's way better.
Well, they already did that with Battlefield 1942, and then there was 1943.
So they did with 2042.
I know, right? They're like, the four numbers thing. Yeah, we want one. It's easier. But yeah, nonetheless,
it's dumber.
Yeah.
Did you say that Call of Duty is going back in time? I thought they're doing Infinite Warfare this year.
They are doing Infinite Warfare. It's more of like kind of a rumor thing because let's be honest, those two have always pretty much just followed each other in one stretch.
So you're saying Call of Duty is going to follow back again?
It probably will, because Call of Duty went modern, then Battlefield went modern. I think actually I can't remember which one did that first. I'd have to look at the timelines.
Call of Duty 4. Well,
yeah, when did Battlefield Bad Company come out?
Battlefield 2 came out before that.
Yeah. So, fair enough. But, you have these games that are, they do reach out to different crowds, and they're a different game for all intents and purpose. But they do very much follow each other in terms of, like, era. So I'm thinking, that when Battlefield 1 goes back in time, especially if it does well, it wouldn't be that far-fetched to imagine Call of Duty showing up, the very next year, or if not a few months later with, hey, it's Call of Duty 1916. And they'll be like, oh, Jesus. Here we go.
Yeah. I would be okay with the Call of Duty World at War 2.
Oh, I would too.
Ooh.
Except it'd be really confusing because they'd call it World at War 2 and it'd be World War 1, and they'll be like, but it's World War 2.
Oh,
and
no.
World at War 2, but World War 1. It's like, naming. Why are people so bad at this? But yeah.
I mean, I've seen both of the trailers. Which one do you guys think is the more appealing one to you? Call of Duty Infinite Warfare or Battlefield 1? I mean, or neither of them.
I think I've seen Battlefield 1. All I know is that Infinite Warfare is dumb. I do not like the Infinite Warfare trailer.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the whole like space aesthetic, like the super future thing. And it's like, I mean, whatever. Again, every developer is entitled to do what they want. I'm not sure how it plays out. I'm sure it will sell great because everybody loves Call of Duty. But I'm just not sure if it's the game for me. I mean, I haven't been on the Call of Duty bandwagon for a very long time. Like, I think the last game I even cared about was like Black Ops. I like Black Ops 2, but like after that point, I just stopped caring because it was like, oh, generic shooter again. Oh, look, this year, generic shooter. Oh, it's slightly updated. Yeah, it's still basically the same thing over and over
And kind of the same.
over and over.
Oh, look, you can double jump or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow. Great. I can do that in like
Most games.
Better games.
Yeah, and honestly, even to some extent, Battlefield 3 versus Battlefield 4, it's like, oh, wow, that's a nice map pack for Battlefield 3.
Yeah, and that's kind of like, for me, I enjoyed Call of Duties. I mean, I've enjoyed them, and I've played a lot of them. I mean, I enjoyed all the Call of Duties through 4, and I enjoyed Modern Warfare 2 because it was different, better or for worse. It did change the industry a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Modern Warfare 3? No.
No, Modern Warfare 3 was just the map pack, like you said, with Battlefield 4. And like once you hit Modern Warfare 3, I started to lose interest because they stopped doing new things. They stopped trying to change their multiplayer formula and just kind of reuse the same thing. And Ghosts tried to do something new when they had Black Ops, which had, Treyarch. I liked World at War. I really liked World at War. I liked Black Ops. The story was interesting to me. And I think the game, when they added the bots mode for multiplayer, I think that was really cool for Black Ops. That added a lot of appeal to me. And they did the same with Black Ops 2 and 3. So that's really kept me interested in Call of Duty, just because I get to play multiplayer, by myself with, without having to hear the 10-year-old who's screaming curse words at you and, being team killed and all of that. So I didn't have to worry about that. I just got to run around and have fun with friends and do split screen multiplayer. I think that was the part that I enjoyed about it. So, I mean, if Infinite Warfare tries to do something different, and I think they're trying to with it, but I just don't know how different it's going to be. Like, are we going to just be Call of Duty except we're a little floatier now? If it's just that, then I mean, I don't know how much more interested I'll be in it. But if they really tried to go for that space setting and really make the maps dynamic and fun and give us an interesting...
Oh my gosh.
Let's be honest. You know what it's going to be. It's Nuketown in space. It's going to be like, God.
Oh, there's going to be that. There's no question.
It's just like, it'll be the same map, but like floating. It'll be like a crate, like just like as if they lifted that part of the Earth out of it and just like it's just floating in space. You're going to be like, God damn it. Like,
or it's on the moon.
It's just on the moon.
You know, it would be a complete overhaul of kind of Call of Duty system, but would be so awesome if they do, like their typical, what they're saying, space Call of Duty meets Assassin's Creed Black Sails, where you have like ship battles and stuff. That'd
be sweet.
Like if you're in orbit around someone and you just shoot those super coil rods at people and just like suck out the air of one part of it, instantly kill a few people.
Yeah, but
maybe have like a triple kill.
Call of Duty really hasn't had a good track record for those non-FPS. Well, I mean, it's still.
Oh yeah, they don't break ground at all.
Standard gameplay sections, because we all remember like in World at War, the Catalina section, it really wasn't that great. It was like, yeah, I'm a turret, I guess. And you just like shoot in the general direction, and you don't feel like you're actually hitting the planes. They just like suddenly burst into flames. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
So my guess is
real great with vehicles.
Yeah, my guess is that if they did do that in like space, it'd be like, press A to fire the laser cannon. We destroyed them. Hop in the jet, and we can hop over to their ship and board. It's like, that'll be it. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. I pressed a button. Yay.
Oh, fantastic. I, maybe got a 3-kill streak. What, UAV or something? Maybe a satellite pointed in this direction. Wow. Fantastic. But we're really paving the way for new FPS.
Wow, such graphics. Much wow.
I got a lot of enjoyment out of Battlefield 3, and I know you did too, Zach.
I enjoyed it when I played it. It's just, it got very samey after a while. It's like,
yeah, and that was what I was going to say. It's like, it gave you the kind of large-scale battle feel, huh? But then, I mean, from that, I felt like I really enjoyed having the large scale fights that had with and they're really good. I mean, the Battlefield games and DICE have always been pretty good about having vehicles. The tanks kind of felt fun to use. The planes are fun to use. The helicopters were OP but fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I like, as much of a like combined battle, or combined arms battle as they wanted to have. Like, I don't know. I just never got that impression. Like, I'm still a big fanboy of Red Orchestra 2, Rising Storm, all that. And I just feel like they capture that feeling of a Battlefield much better than Battlefield, really. Because, like, you play with upwards of, like, the same, 64 players, right? And, yeah, it's chaotic. There's shit happening, bullets whizzing over your head, explosions, landing right next to you, blowing up Hans 3 feet away from you and sending his thigh careening over your face. Like, that's chaotic. But yet you can still survive and, fight. And, yeah,
Make
you'll
an
die,
impact.
but you'll make an impact. Battlefield, it just always seems like you're just like, and then you die, and you're like, oh, I guess I'll respawn now. And then you're like, oh, hey, I
And
can
you
do
don't make
something.
any.
You kill like 3 guys, and then you're like, oh, Jesus. It's like, yeah.
But and I think part of that is the fact that Battlefield have they kind of try to pride themselves off of large scale maps, and and I think that dilutes your player base, whereas Red Orchestra always focused on. And if you haven't played Red Orchestra, anyone out there, you should play it. It's really fun.
Seriously. And Rising Storm 2, which is a Vietnam era version of the game, is coming out. Is it next year?
Next year, I think.
Next year, yeah. Which is so cool. I'm so excited. So excited for that.
Because they really capture, and they use bots to fill the non-playered, not populated roles, and they force you to play. They force you to play in classes, and there's only a select number of snipers. So you don't get the Battlefield. Oh my God, there's 16 snipers. I can't walk out in the open and do anything because there's 16 snipers.
And
there's
same
only
thing
2
with machine gunners. I mean, and the thing is, the entire game, it's realistic. So you get shot in the chest, you're fucking dead. Not Battlefield where it's like, again, save hardcore mode, but Battlefield where you'll take
Barrett 50 cal hits you in the chest and you don't die.
Nope, takes 2 hits. It's like bullshit. I am a sniper, god damn it. If I put a round through your chest, you're done. God, I hated that so much. It's like hit.
And of course they had hardcore mode that did allow that.
Yeah, I mean, and whatever. But then it was like
but
their hit detection.
It shouldn't be hardcore mode.
Because then it's like if you got hit in like the ankle, you die. It's like, because it's like they either do it well.
It would immobilize you, but I mean, I get your point, but and I think that they do a good job. The only thing that the Red Orchestra didn't do that well, I think the vehicles were very limited in Red Orchestra too. Yeah,
and they unfortunately went way too high detail with them, like super realistic to the point where no, you actually need 3 people to drive the tank. You need a driver, a gunner, and
so if you're playing by yourself, it makes it difficult.
It's like you can switch to each position, and it takes time, and you can run a tank with one person, but. Good luck. It is kind of cool. You do actually like see your guy like switch to each position, like hop around the tank. It's actually kind of fun.
And I mean they have the basics bare bones for it, but I think Battlefield does capture being able to do vehicle mechanics well. I wish that Red Orchestra and maybe the Rising Storm 2 will incorporate that. I don't know.
Oh God, I really hope there's Hueys coming in. Like you're just on the enemy team and you're like, okay, well here's the landing zone. And you just hear. You just see like 6 Hueys inbound, and the M60s on the doors just start going.
That'd be a really cool way to do reinforcements.
It'd just be like, oh Jesus Christ, and like you're in the Huey, like, oh God, and you just see tracers like, and you're like, oh God, oh God, oh God.
I would love that, and I think that interests me more. Rising Storm 2 interests me more than either of these 2 games.
Yeah,
and even Titanfall 2 to me, I love Titanfall. I really enjoyed it. I thought it did what these games, that Call of Duty, Black Ops 3, and Advanced Warfare tried to do with the kind of mobility. And I love the mobility and the mech combat. I always love mech, combats, and I thought that really gave in the verticality of the levels was really cool and fun. And I think Titanfall 2, if they continue to do that and make invest more in it so that they can have a single player mode, so they can have a fun thing, I think that would interest me more than these 2.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, let's see. We're approaching the hour mark, so I know there's one thing we didn't talk about last week that we really wanted to talk about here. And Tom, I believe you should take it away with your derpy as fuck NBA 2K16 character.
Oh, of course. So I'm playing NBA 2K16 on the PS4, and if any of you have played it, it features a story by Spike Lee. So you're playing this game, and you play the My Career part. And it starts you off, so it says, oh, make your player. This is my career. You want to be an NBA legend? Make your story. I think it even says, like, be the story as the catchphrase for it. So I'm like, all right.
Oh, jeez.
And so I'm like, yeah, it probably does have TM after it. But, like, I go in there and I'm like, okay, I'm making my guy who looks like me. Cool. He looks like me. He's a, pasty white dude. Except for the fact that I'm 5'7" and my guy's like 6'5". So, a little bit of embellishment.
Yeah, over exaggeration.
Just a small over exaggeration. So like, but then you go into my career, and my guy has the dorkiest like 3-point. Like every time I make a shot, a 3-pointer, or make a dunk, my guy does the dorkiest dance you've ever seen. If you don't have it, just look it up online. You'll see it. It's like the dorkiest dance. And Zach was he was talking with me one time while I was playing with it, and we were playing the game, and he saw my guy do it. He's like, "What is your guy doing?"
Jeez.
Right?
Oh my
Right.
God. It's the like you're just like putting your hands out in front of you and just like moving them forward and backward, right? And then you're like walking forward slowly, just like it's like, oh God, it is the like, oh no, like if you saw it, you'd be like, oh no,
and like I'm like, oh my God, that guy's like the biggest loser ever. So then I go out there and I score 80 points and 27 rebounds and
God, his
40 assists.
And
like 40 assists, so I have like the greatest game in the history of the NBA. And after the end of the game, I'm jumping around and going, "Yeah, I'm awesome. This was great." I go up to high five my teammates, and they all just kind of walk away from me. And I'm holding my hand in the air, just going, "Yeah!" And I just kind of just change it to a fist pump. Like nobody noticed that.
It was the
nobody
saddest
noticed
thing.
that.
Like for a game that's supposed to make you feel like the coolest person in the world, they made you look like the most idiotic freaking dumbass. Like you're just like, "Yeah, woo! Come on, guys, high five." Guys, no, it's okay. Woo, yeah,
it's okay. It's okay. I'll just keep cheering.
You're just like,
whatever. Party of one.
It's the worst.
It was like that. And I was just flailing my arms around, and and your nickname is Freak. Frequency vibrations. I mean, come on.
Frequency vibrate. What is that? What? See,
I
like,
think it's
as
a
an
song
engineer,
or
it's just like frequency vibrations, man. Like, yeah, what about them? Like, what frequency are we talking about here? Are we talking about like 1,000 hertz? We're talking about like 100 hertz?
What frequency?
Alrighty, well, we're at the hour mark here, so I think we're gonna call it for today. But yeah, it's as always nice talking to you guys, and yeah, I think next time we'll have some very interesting things to talk about. There's actually a lot of cool games coming up here, and I think we'll have to talk about those when we get there.
Definitely. There's a lot of good ones, and especially with E3 coming up, it's going to be a very interesting few weeks.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I'm gonna be watching that live as much as possible. All right, see you guys later.
Heck yeah. See you later, guys.